Hi guys, it's Tim here and we're back. Yep, following a conversation with a connoisseur, a real expert of the YouTube platform. Is my channel dead?
No, it's dying. It's nearly dead.
What should I do?
You should upload more videos.
So guys, look, we're back. We've been hiding because it's been so cold here in the UK over the last couple of months. But look, I've got to call it out. There's been some guys out there repping the Mark II scene here on YouTube over the winter. So big shout out to JC and Sixth Stage. Guys, great channel, great content. Go and check him out. He's got a banging Mark II. So please go and show him some love. Guys, in the meantime, we're going to get started on a little project here that we've got going on, and we've got lots more videos to come over the next couple of weeks. So to do this brake upgrade, we are literally just swapping the discs and pads. So we're going from the solid driver discs up to the vented 8-valve GTI discs and pads. So it's really straightforward, and if you've got a driver and you need to do your discs and pads, you may as well do this upgrade anyway. I mean, look, it's going to give you a little bit extra braking performance, and if you're changing the discs and pads anyway, it's money you are going to spend. Now, to do this job, obviously you're going to need the vented discs for an 8-valve GTI along with the pads. Now, 8-valve pads are different sizes, so you'll need to make sure you put the right pad on the right side, otherwise it won't fit. We've got some copper grease as well to make sure the brakes don't squeak. We've got some new brake caliper slider bolts, really important on this job, and I'll tell you why in a moment. We've got a big pair of grips to push the piston back. We've got a hammer, and we've also got a 6mm Allen key. Now we've also got a spline bit as well. Now that's just in case the caliper bolt rounds off and you need to end up beating that spline bit in with that hammer. So it's always best just to give the 6mm Allen key a little tap into the back of the bolt just to make sure it seats really well, because these bolts are made of chocolate, and I always recommend changing the bolts every time you do this job. They're about £6 for a new set, and do you know what, if you're planning on keeping the car for any length of time, absolutely worth doing for the next time you change your discs or pads. But also, if you end up rounding off one of these bolts while you're trying to take it apart and you can't get it back together and it's your daily, it's an absolute nightmare. So for the want of £6, get yourself some new bolts and save yourself any potential problems you might have.
Now, first things first, we're going to need a car to do this on. Now, this Jetta has the same solid discs as a Mark II driver. Basically, all 8 valves except GTIs have solid discs.
Now if we have a look, it's got the driver brakes, so solid discs. Now to start with, we're just going to do a simple upgrade to GTI spec brakes. So we're going to use GTI vented discs and GTI pads, and that should be it. They'll give us a nice quick upgrade that's not really going to cost us any money, but hopefully it'll do a little bit better for the braking performance. And look, it's been off the road for 3 years, so yeah, to be honest, a service and a set of new brakes is probably the right thing to do. Now with the 6mm Allen key, just give it a bit of a tap, just to make sure it's in properly, because these things are made of chocolate and have a habit of just rounding off. So make sure it's got really good seating. Same again with the bottom.
As you know, the work we do on the channel really is a team effort. So while I'm doing these brakes, Sam's underneath the car doing an oil, a filter, and changing the power steering belt, because that squeak was really getting on my nerves.
Now as we take these out, you'll notice the bolt for the top is longer than the bolt for the bottom, so make sure you keep a note of that, otherwise you won't be able to get them back in. Believe me, I've done this job before and I've made that mistake. So we just need to work this in here just to get that piston back a little bit. so that we can slide this caliper off. I find the easiest way to do it is just leave the pad against the disc with a screwdriver. And that should hopefully give you just enough, as you can see now, that's starting to come loose. Now I'm just using a bungee just to hold that up so I don't put any strain on the brake flexi, because these brake flexis look like they're fairly new, so I don't want to have to be changing those because I've gone in a bit quick and end up causing some damage. Now, I said that the pads were different front and back, so the larger one, sort of the longer one of the two, is the one that goes on the front, so facing outwards, and then you've got the thicker one, the short stubby little one. That's the one, you can see the mark on the back where the piston's been pressing against it. So if you take them out and forget, look for the one with the circular mark on the back. That's where your piston's been pressing against it, and that'll help you know that that's the right one to put against that back side. Now, luckily that came out really easy. You're going to have to trust me, I forgot to press record. But look, here you go. One bolt head, Allen bolt that is not all chewed up. So good news, I can reuse that. I mean, I did get a new set in the box with the Brembo discs I've got. But hey, look, it's always good to keep some as a spare, because I'm sure I've got some cars that could probably do with a new one. Now, if you look back here, this is actually pretty clean. There's a little bit here that just needs to be cleaned off, but hey, look, it looks like these discs and pads are quite recent on this car, so this job's been a lot easier than it could have been.
Now with the disc on, you just put the pads on the same way they came off. Remember the right sides, and of course you need to put copper grease on the bits where the brake pad touches the carrier, not on the braking surface obviously. Now with the pads in, you just need to slide the piston back a little. So I'm using a big pair of grips. You could use a posh wind back tool, or I've seen people do it with a G-clamp and a piece of wood.
Now these slider bolts can just push through a bit, so make sure they're pushed back, otherwise the caliper won't fit back on. With a little bit of persuasion, that'll all go back on nicely. Now the last thing I need to do is just put the fluid reservoir cap back on. Now I took that off, so when I pushed the pistons back it would just help them go back a little bit, and now it's all back together. Just need to put it on, because if I don't, I'm probably going to have some horrible accident as I drive it down the road. So finishing touch, let's put this back on and we're good to go. Now that's done, let's take it down the road and give it a quick test. But guys, do you know what? Now I've done the work on this, I think I've kind of got the bug. I've got to get this Jetta on the road. So guys, look, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Let us know what job you're doing on your Mark II, or what you've been up to over the winter. So guys, yet again, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.